Welcome to Candid Conversations with Doc V, a collaboration with the unprecedented enterprise Win-Win Women, a global movement to reach, teach, and talk with women and girls around the world in 195 nations. The saying goes, as a woman heals, the earth heals. Our mission is to care, connect, and collaborate with 3.9 billion women worldwide, so all can enjoy a level of excellence in every area of their lives and be more joyful, fulfilled, and financially secure. We care by loving and inspiring all women. We connect as we teach and talk together. We collaborate to grow successful businesses. To that end, Candid Conversations is where real talk about real experiences and circumstances is the norm and not the exception, to help you heal, rebuild, and transform your life from the inside out and put you back in business. Hi, I'm Doc V, the Pivot Maestro and your corner woman, here to provide truth and transparency in conversation to help you navigate the waters and think without a box. What is my why? Ladies, you are my why and motivation to create a safe haven for you, to validate you and your experiences, and to provide hope and freedom in your thinking and being so that you may live the life and lifestyle you were meant to lead. All are welcome to the conversation with our topics running the gamut around issues women face every day in life, the workplace, career transition, always providing reconciliation, revelation, reconciliation, and renaissance with one mission in mind to help you define your path and one message: you are mission essential, ladies. So the men who love us are always welcome. Thank you for being here and thank you for your support. Last week, our pivot was recognizing integrity. This week, our conversation is about deciding who you will be. At home, in the workplace, in community, how you show up in one, you will show up in all. Your soul integrity and soul purpose is at stake, ladies, so choose well. In the last episode, we discussed the compromising of our belief system and the repercussions when integrity is shattered, and the result being dissonance. Once broken, almost impossible to repair. Recall the brighter you shine your light, whether again at home, in the workplace, in society, whether talents, disposition, what have you, the brighter you shine your light on darkness, it will recoil. Stand your ground and shine bright. Now you have a decision to make, ladies. Most of us rarely choose ourselves or the calling of our soul. Right? We've been talking a lot about the soul, different aspects of the soul. Why do we rarely choose ourselves? Any number of reasons. You've been trained, programmed not to because of culture or religious reasons. We're trying to follow in someone else's footsteps, mom or dad. It's not easy to look in the mirror. Fear of failure. What ifs, thens, and consequences. All of these things play into our ability or inability to choose ourselves, right? What if you tried and succeeded? So that's a question to you. What if you tried and succeeded? If you never try, you will never know. You may fall down. We never fail, so get that out of your head. That's a mindset, a reprogramming that we have to do. We never fail. We may fall down, but falling down is a part of the journey. It's a part of life. What do you do when you fall down? Get up off the mat and pivot. Just as a child learns to crawl before it can walk and walk before it can run, we adults are no different. We have to remember our childhood, It all depends on our conviction, the dedication we have, our whys, and our why nots. Think about that. That why not is a big one. It was hard for me to decide who I would be as a budding young woman. Life started happening to me at an early age, and I flipped into self-inflicted performance anxieties. You've heard me talk about this before. And superwoman complexes, trying to be, do, and achieve it all. I even had a savior complex, thought I could fix people, change people, make their lives better because I love them so much, not really understanding what that meant because I was struggling with the ability to love myself. In an ironic or not so ironic way. That's how my exposure to all walks of life, cultures, experiences, began to take shape and develop my divergent thinking mind. The conversation, why not, became a part of my regular vocabulary early in life. And that programming set my course. Guess what? That was me embracing my fear and making it my ally. No matter, I did not come from money. I was a little Black girl growing up in South Texas, dealing with issues on the home front, peer pressures, and society while facing fears. It all started with fighting through the sociocultural programming that we all have, that we're all subjected to, whether you realize it or not. Just simply watching television, watching the news is all a part of that sociocultural programming. And deciding to be the captain of my ship, and not simply to follow a leader or allow or follow, be a follower of the crew or just blend into the crew. I decided to become the captain of my ship. Was my mindset fixed all of a sudden? No, it was not. But I began walking it out a little at a time and pivoting when necessary, just to keep the balance, to stay afloat. And eventually I arrived at port. So see, port after port was different, and there was a lesson to be learned, a new piece to the puzzle, helping me think without a box. Think about how we put puzzles together, right? We dump them out. If you ever have the opportunity to put a puzzle together, we dump it out of the box, right? It's just laying there on the table. And it's just like, you're looking at it and you're like, oh my God, what is this? Where do I even start, right? But then that divergent thinking kicks in, that analytical with the creative. And you start to put the pieces of the puzzle together. It may not look like what you want it to look like, or what you thought it might look like, particularly if the box didn't have like the picture on the top. So imagine that. But putting the pieces together, it helped me think without a box. Eventually, I was able to connect the dots, and the picture looked nothing like the path I was on, but was where I found joy, unspeakable joy and blessings beyond measure in changing lives and positively affecting legacies for the better. See, as life happened to me and I had to start making very grown-up decisions, including being a caregiver for my father in my late 20s, early 30s, I had no clue. But my connection to my higher power, my creator, my source, relate to whatever your faith is, whatever your belief system, calmed me, calmed the storm with no land in sight. And my spirit spoke to my soul, then to me. And that's when revelation started to happen and divergent thinking kicked in. Had it not been for unintentional challenges, because I certainly didn't intend for them, I don't think any of us really want challenges in life, right? But it's a part of life. If it were not for those unintentional challenges, I would have never found my way to intentioned purpose and fulfillment. Remember, we must live life to run into those people, places, things that will trigger our transformational breakthroughs. We talked about this last week. They help us find our way to soul truth and transparency, which then leads to integrity, right? Walking in integrity. We must also seek the same that gives us life and helps us live it more abundantly. That requires not being afraid to live life and all it throws at you, allowing and accepting the challenges that will come by stepping into the ring and mastering the pivot with your passions guiding you to purpose. And here I'll share my book. If you're not familiar with this, Love the Skin You're In, How to Conquer Life Through Divergent Thinking. This is me at 3 different points in my life where I had to pivot. Life happened and I pivoted. And this is me in red, breaking out, realizing, recognizing who I was meant to be, and owning it. So you too, the book is available on Amazon if you care to find it, or go to my website, definingpaths.online, and you can purchase it there as well, the digital copy. So, mastering the pivot with your passions, guiding you to purpose. That's key, ladies. This is nothing new. We are constant grace under pressure every single day. Let me say that again if you didn't hear me, ladies. We are constant grace under pressure every single day. Once you realize that, you will be able to embrace paralyzing fear and use it as your catalyst to pivot. Fear looking back at what could have been, fear the consequences of not speaking up, fear making someone else look good for that promotion you should have gotten, fear living a half life, fear never trying and expressing regret with your last breath. Compare those to your greatest fear of doing and failing and falling down. Remember, we don't fail. We may fall down, but you get back up. We get back up. You can always get back up off the mat. You just have to believe in yourself. And to do that, you must love the skin you're in. So let me share a little bit about just my journey in figuring all of this out. Ooh, it was a trip. I began my entrepreneurial journey in 2011, in the last decade plus. I spent well over $500,000, I know, and I'm so surprised I don't choke on that anymore, but I've learned my worth, and that journey was a part of my worth. It was the investment I made in myself to get to where I am now. I spent well over $500K in what some might view a loss, so long as their perspective is focused on the win-lose or the win-loss paradigm. It's all about how you view it. See, I did not go to school for business, but I did not allow that to stop me. And all of those losses, guess what? In hindsight, I count them all joy. Yes, it hurt. And while in it, it was absolutely no fun. But when I look back on what I learned, how many times I got back up, how many times I started from scratch, how many amazing, like-minded, divergent thinking people I've met along the way, how many wonderful people like yourself I've had the opportunity to bless, speak life into, and help you stand up to define your own path, to love and live from the inside out. I would not trade it for anything. When I decided to ring free from the constructs of life, heck yes, it was scary, but discovering things about yourself, exercising and operating in your gifts, your talents, your passion, you are finally able to experience what it means to exhale and receive exponential healing and awareness to live an exceptional life. You too can come out the other side of freedom. It's time to step out of obscurity and marginalization, to own your gifts, your talents, your soul purpose, and make moves in soul, S-O-U-L, integrity. How do you get started? Decide. Simply decide. Decide to choose you. It's that simple. It really is. Decide to choose you, even if it's scary. Wounds heal, scars fade, hearts are resilient, and compassion rebounds because you are, women are, the hope of the world, ladies. When are we going to realize this? When are we going to accept this? When are we going to walk in our birthright, in our greatness? Your life, your path is your own. So it's time to start living it, truly, truly living it, even in the face of fear. You know, when I started my first company, I had absolutely no clue. When I started my second company, I had absolutely no clue. When I started my third company, I had no clue. By the fourth, I was well on my way to a clue. But still, I wasn't fully there. I wasn't in community. I was trying to do this thing on my own. I was a lone ranger, right? You are already ahead of the game. You have me and my multi-talented, multifaceted love bug dream team, as I call them, at Defining Paths. We are on a global mission to touch, heal, rebuild, and transform the lives of entrepreneurial-minded legacy builders, as I love to call you all. Providing community, providing education. We provide opportunity. We provide access to those folks who have not had the opportunity to go to business school. And actually, for what you need to make business happen now, business school is not the full answer, honestly. Much respect to my colleagues out there, Professor Land, but that's the truth. I've discovered that. I used to run a holistic scholarship program at Indiana University in Bloomington called the Hudson and Holland Scholars Program. Brilliant young minds, cross-disciplinary students, including the majority of my students were business students. So I know about and from whence I speak. We have to stay in a continual learning mode and fill in the gaps wherever we might. So even those who go to school for business come out and have to learn, particularly if they're going the entrepreneurial path, have to learn the nuances, the practicalities, the application. So at Defining Paths, we've created a community where we are educating people around the world. People are gravitating and hungry for knowledge. They're realizing it doesn't matter where they come from, where they are in the world, but they too have a dream. And that dream is to be a legacy builder, to leave legacy, to follow the path that they were meant to be on, to feel fulfilled, to feel what it feels like to be free, right? To define your own path. So we give people access to help them see with true vision, to define their path with integrity, to be profitable, and to reach that point of sustainable wins via our passion-driven online business. So if you have an interest in starting your own business, in pursuing the entrepreneurial path, reach out. Don't have a clue about your passions? No worries. We have you covered there too. Did I mention the True Vision Project includes a hybrid holistic coaching model? So we deal with the person and we deal with business, because you cannot be successful in business until you deal with the personal. You cannot be successful in life until you deal with the personal, with your person, you. When I tell you that we have your back, we have your back. So check us out. Go to definingpaths.online, and actually you can go to our define-your-path and reach out. So just get to definingpaths.online and you'll be good to go. There's nothing to it, guys, nothing to it but to do it and stand on our shoulders, because that's why we're here. We are here for you to stand on our shoulders and fulfill your dreams. So remember, last week we discussed that when you understand your soul, S-O-L-E, purpose in life, is a soul, S-O-U-L, purpose. And those places, those people, those things, career paths that you're on right now, jobs, the business pursuits, that are not in alignment with that soul, S-O-U-L purpose, are not in alignment with your purposed path. You have a purposed path. And you have to find it. You owe it to yourself to find it. You owe it to your loved ones to find it. You owe it to your legacy to find it. It's time to be true to you. Make moves and discover what you're made of, ladies. Discover what you're made of. We are made of so much more than we ever thought, that we ever imagined. It's up to us to believe in ourselves. Believe in ourselves. And we can move mountains. We can do all things. So you just have to believe in yourself. You have to start that journey to love the skin you're in. And when I say that, when I talk about it here in my book, this is not simply a literal meaning. This is not a book simply for people of color. It's a book for all. It's actually my love letter to society on social conditioning, mindsets, how processes, how I overcame, and the lessons that I learned, and my just sharing myself and my love with you. So I want you guys to really think about what's holding you back right now. What's keeping you from moving forward, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your professional life, whether you're already an entrepreneur out there and you're needing to pivot. Maybe you're running into issues with your products, or you think it's an issue with your product. Perhaps it's your setup. Perhaps you need that foundation that is going to help you stand up taller, stronger, seal the cracks, put systems in place to help you realize your dream. Maybe you're in the workplace. Maybe you're considering a pivot out of the workplace. That path has run its course. Perhaps it's a path that you didn't start yourself. Someone else put you on it, and you just followed it because you thought that's the path you should have been on. Or you were told, oh, you're really good at that, so you should. How many of us have heard that, right? I know I'm not alone. It's okay. It's okay. Because it's all a part of your journey. It's all a part of the learning process. It's all a part of the lessons learned that life requires you to learn so that you can pivot. So nothing is a mistake. It's your perspective. Perspective is everything. I want you to repeat that with me right now. Perspective is everything. What do I mean by that? At the top of the show, I talked about me losing over $500,000 over the decade plus that I've been on the entrepreneurial journey, trying this, trying that, taking this course, taking this training, just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what would stick, right? Just trying to do it by myself. The perspective, if I did not choose to become the captain of my ship, to take control, to go along with the messaging or the programming of how most of society would view that loss, if I didn't see it as a lesson learned, and thereby being a lesson learned equals a win, then I would have stopped this journey a long time ago. I would not be sitting here right now speaking to you, speaking life into you. See that stuff that's stirring in you? That's your spirit trying to move because your soul is calling you. Answer it. Answer it. And if you need help, like I said, if you need help figuring it out, that's what we're here for. That's what communities are here for. Get in community. And let me tell you right now, do not be ashamed of your story. Own it. Because in that story, as I've shared with you, comes power, comes truth, comes transparency, comes and brings light and life into those who have an ear to hear. So you just have to find and summon your willpower. You've heard me speak about this before. Find your willpower to find your strength. And I tell you what, you find that willpower, you find your strength, and you stand up, you get into community, you seek out resources like what we have here at Defining Paths. I promise you this time next year, you will not recognize yourself. You will be operating in a power, in a confidence that you've never known. You will go look in the mirror, you will smile at yourself, and you will be pleased with what you see. So I hope you found some nuggets in this episode to help you decide who you are, who you want to be. Have you? Think about it. And I invite you to just reflect over all that I've said. If you have to watch this episode multiple times, go to Roku, go to Amazon, go to Apple TV. We're on all of them. Go to the winwinwomen.com website and find me. Find me in the show host. And the whole lineup is there. I invite you to reflect. Think on your conversation and the application in your life. If you're ready to pivot, we are here for you at Defining Paths. Ready to start a business or need a transformation? Come see me. Come see us and see with true vision to define your path and stand up your business in 90 days on a foundation built for profitability and sustainability. And yes, I did say 90 days. So come be a part of our International Women's Day coming up this Saturday, March 12th. You don't want to miss it, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find it on the pivotmaestro.com/IWD-GUP for Grace Under Pressure -registration. We would love to have you come and be a part, and it is free. So come and join us. It's free 99. And come and get into any of our communities. On Facebook, we have a Grace Under Pressure for Women. Just search GUP for women. We have our next steps for women who are ready to pivot, just need a little bit more of just healing and rebuilding. Come and join our Next Steps for Women community on Facebook. And then if you're ready, if you're already, you're in that entrepreneurial mindset, on Facebook, we have a group called Defining Paths Community. Just spell it all out, Defining Paths Community. Come and be a part of that. We would love to have you. And as always, visit our virtual home at definingpaths.online for anything and everything that we do, including podcasts. So join us next week. And until then, what is our mantra, ladies? Strong is the new sexy. Be strong in mind, body, and soul. Define your path and love the skin you're in. I'm Doc V, the Pivot Maestro, and always your corner woman. I am my sister's keeper. I will see you next week.